Once upon a time, in a peaceful monastery nestled deep in the mountains, lived a wise monk named Tenzin. He was renowned for his wisdom and kind heart, and many people from far and wide would seek his counsel. One day, as Tenzin was taking a walk in the woods, he noticed a raven perched on a nearby tree branch. The bird looked sad and dejected, and Tenzin wondered what could be bothering it. He approached the bird and asked, "Why do you look so sad, my friend?" The raven looked up at Tenzin with its big black eyes and said, "I have lost everything. My home, my family, my friends. I feel so alone in this world." Tenzin nodded in understanding. He knew how it felt to lose everything, and he wanted to help the raven find its way back to happiness. "Listen to me, my friend," said Tenzin. "I have a story to tell you. It's a story about another raven who went through a tough time, but never gave up." The raven looked at Tenzin with curiosity, and Tenzin began to speak. Once upon a time, there was a raven named Corvus. Corvus had everything a bird could want: a warm nest, a loving family, and plenty of food to eat. But one day, a fierce storm swept through the forest and destroyed everything Corvus had ever known. His nest was gone, his family was gone, and all his food was washed away by the rain. Corvus was devastated. He felt lost and alone in the world, just like you do now. But instead of giving up, he decided to start over. He began to look for a new home, and after days of searching, he found a small, cozy tree hollow that he could call his own. Next, Corvus set out to find food. He had to work harder than ever before, but he managed to scavenge enough food to survive. And finally, Corvus began to make new friends. He found other birds who had also been through tough times, and they formed a tight-knit community of survivors. In the end, Corvus realized that he was stronger than he ever thought possible. He had lost everything, but he had also gained something priceless: resilience. He knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he could overcome them. As Tenzin finished his story, the raven looked up at him with a newfound sense of hope. "Thank you," said the raven. "I realize now that I can start over, just like Corvus did. I may have lost everything, but I can still find happiness and build a new life." Tenzin smiled and patted the raven's head. "You are a wise bird," he said. "Never forget that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle. And whenever you feel sad, remember the story of Corvus and know that you too can find happiness again." From that day on, the raven would visit Tenzin often, listening to his wise words and gaining strength from his stories. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The raven would still visit Tenzin often, and he would share his thoughts, feelings, and experiences with him. Tenzin always listened patiently, offering words of comfort and wisdom. One day, as the raven was perched on a tree branch outside Tenzin's quarters, he heard a commotion from inside. Tenzin was coughing uncontrollably, and the raven could hear him struggling to breathe. Panicked, the raven flew inside and saw Tenzin lying on his bed, his face flushed and his eyes closed. "What's wrong, Tenzin?" asked the raven frantically. Tenzin opened his eyes weakly and looked at the raven. "My time has come, my friend," he said softly. "I am old and my body is tired, but I am at peace. I have lived a full and meaningful life." The raven felt tears welling up in his eyes. Tenzin had become such an important part of his life, and he couldn't bear the thought of losing him. "Please don't leave me, Tenzin," pleaded the raven. "You have taught me so much, and I still have so much to learn from you." Tenzin smiled weakly. "You don't need me anymore, my friend. You have grown strong and wise on your own. Remember the story of Corvus, and know that you can face any challenge that comes your way." With those words, Tenzin closed his eyes and took his last breath. The raven sat by his side, his heart heavy with grief. But as he sat there, thinking about all the lessons Tenzin had taught him, the raven began to feel a sense of peace. He knew that Tenzin's wisdom would always be with him, and that he could continue to grow and learn on his own. And so the raven flew out of the monastery, his heart full of gratitude for the time he had spent with Tenzin. As he soared high above the mountains, he felt a newfound sense of freedom and resilience. Whenever he felt sad or alone, he would remember the story of Corvus and the lessons of Tenzin. And with those memories in his heart, he knew that he could face any challenge that came his way. The raven continued to fly across the mountains, feeling a sense of purpose and determination. He knew that he still had much to learn and explore, but he also knew that he had the strength and resilience to face whatever lay ahead. As he flew, the raven noticed a group of other ravens perched on a nearby tree. He flew over to join them, and as he landed, he realized that they were all looking at him expectantly. "What brings you here, young one?" asked one of the elder ravens. "I have come to learn from you," replied the raven. "I have learned much from my friend Tenzin, but I know that there is still much I don't know. I want to continue to grow and learn, and I believe that I can do that by being part of a community like yours." The elder ravens looked at each other knowingly, and then turned back to the young raven. "Very well," said the elder raven, "but know that being part of our community comes with great responsibility. We must work together to ensure the survival and well-being of our species, and that means putting the needs of the group before our own individual desires." The young raven nodded solemnly. He knew that being part of a community meant sacrificing some of his own wants and needs for the greater good. And so, the raven became a part of the community of ravens. He learned from their experiences, and he shared his own. He found joy in being part of a group that worked together to ensure their survival, and he felt a sense of belonging that he had never experienced before. Whenever he felt sad or lonely, the raven would remember the lessons of Tenzin and the community of ravens. He knew that he was never truly alone, and that he had the strength and resilience to face any challenge that came his way. And so, the raven continued to fly across the mountains, his heart full of hope and determination. He knew that there would be challenges ahead, but he also knew that he had the support and wisdom of his friends and mentors to guide him through. The story of the raven and Tenzin teaches us several important lessons. Firstly, it reminds us of the power of friendship and the importance of having someone to confide in and learn from. Tenzin served as a mentor to the raven, offering him guidance and wisdom that he carried with him even after Tenzin's passing. Secondly, the story emphasizes the importance of resilience and strength in the face of adversity. The raven faced numerous challenges throughout his journey, but he was able to overcome them by relying on the lessons he had learned and the support of his community. Lastly, the story highlights the importance of being part of a community and working together for the greater good. The raven found belonging and purpose by being part of the community of ravens, and he recognized the importance of putting the needs of the group before his own individual desires. The story of the raven and Tenzin teaches us about the power of friendship, resilience, and community. It reminds us to cherish the people in our lives who offer us guidance and support, to remain strong in the face of adversity, and to work together for the betterment of our communities. Sadness may linger, but it's not permanent. There is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. Sadness is a reminder that we're human and that we have the capacity to feel deeply. Sadness can be the catalyst for change and growth. Every struggle has the potential to lead to great strength. Sadness is a part of the journey, not the destination. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. That's how we learn to pick ourselves back up. Sadness can be the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. Even in the midst of sadness, there is beauty to be found. Every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. Sadness can teach us valuable lessons about ourselves and others. We can't always control our circumstances, but we can control how we respond to them. Sadness may seem overwhelming, but it is not insurmountable. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark it may seem. Every challenge we face is an opportunity for growth and resilience. Sadness is not a sign of weakness, but of our humanity and capacity for emotion. Every cloud has a silver lining, even if we can't see it in the moment. The greatest triumphs often come after the greatest struggles. Sadness can be the fuel that ignites our passion and purpose. We must allow ourselves to feel sadness in order to fully appreciate joy. In the midst of sadness, we can still find moments of gratitude and grace. Thanks for watching.